What's up, folks? It's Daryl. Welcome to the channel. So I woke up this morning and read a breaking automotive news story about the NSX. Now, if you follow the channel, you know me. You know I have an NSX. I love the car. When I saw the title of that story, NSX Discontinued, I had to quickly wipe my eyes, get everything in focus to see what the heck is going on with the NSX. Is this the beginning of the end for the NSX? Or should we not worry too much about that story? So are you ready to dive right into it? Okay, let's go.
Why would you do that? We're in the end game now.
Okay, so the story is the sales numbers for the NSX in Australia have been dismal the last couple of years. Last year in 2019, they only sold 3. You heard me right. 3 cars, 3 NSXs. This year, 2020 year to date, 0. What is going on? So I have to read some of the story to you. So it's restructuring its business strategy over there, okay? So they're moving away from a dealer franchise strategy to a centrally managed model. And as of a couple of weeks ago, Honda has even taken down NSX model information off its website over there for Australia. Okay, so that's the story on the surface. You won't be driving any new NSXs off the lot in Australia. But remember, I told you there's always more to the story. So we're going to dive a little deeper. We're going to connect some dots. What may have led Honda to making that decision at this time? Okay, so let's look at some basics. So here in the US, the MSRP for the Acura NSX is about $157,000. If you translate that same price to the Australian currency, the AUD, that puts the price over there at about $225,000, okay? Just a currency difference. Some cars in Australia sell for more than what they sell for over here, and some sell for less. Matter of fact, the first gen NSX back in the 90s sold for cheaper in Australia than it did over here in the US. But as we look at this chart, let's take a look at, there was a step change right before the second gen came out. You can see something happened. The price skyrocketed. The second gen NSX has been selling in Australia for not the $225,000, but $400,000. Yes, you heard me correct. And you're asking yourself, why? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Well, Australia used to domestically manufacture cars themselves. Well, we all know McLaren comes from Australia, and there were others, right? A few years prior to the second gen NSX being released, Australia made the decision that, hey, we're going to protect and promote our domestic car manufacturers first, and many of the other companies where we're going to slap them with outrageous import fees and tariffs. And so when the NSX came out for sale in late 2016 in Australia, it didn't MSRP at the $225,000 that it should have. Instead, it was close to $400,000. So you didn't know that, right? $400,000 for an NSX? That's like $300,000 here in the US. Not many people are going to pay $400,000 for that car. Heck, not many people are paying $157,000 for the car here in the US. So in my opinion, it's not that the Australians didn't like the NSX. It just made good financial sense not to buy it at that price point. So it didn't sell. And Honda, being a business, is having to do what any business would have to do. No sales? Well, I'm not going to keep shipping you these special right-hand drive limited production vehicles if no one's buying them. So guess what? You're not going to get them. By connecting some of those dots, that's what I see as what's happening in Australia right now with the NSX. People in America who love the NSX don't necessarily have to start panicking today that it's about to get discontinued over here as well. But hey, I'm a numbers guy. I like data. So let's look at a couple quick line graphs on how many NSXs have been sold by year in America since 2016. And we're going to compare that to how many units were sold with the previous generation back from 1990 to 2005. Okay, looking at these graphs, the first graph is second gen NSX sales in the US only by year, okay? All right, so let's dig into the graph. So the first graph, second gen NSX is sold in the US only from 2016 so far year to date, September 2020. We're going to ignore 2016 because it was released late in the model year. 2017, over 500, not bad, but a significant drop. The next year in 2018, slight bump in 2019. 2020 year-to-date September is down. Some of that is the pandemic effect as well. And so how does that compare with the sales of the first-gen NSX? It sold for quite some number of years. Okay, so same drill here, US sales only. Different numbers here, right? Over 1,000 for those first 3 years. Then it dropped off a little bit, spiked up a little bit to 800, 1995, and then slowly started to decline and kind of flattened out. And so if you look at starting with 1999 through the end 2005, it was pretty much hovering in a pretty tight range there. And I'm gonna call that range the danger zone. That's probably when Acura said, hey, you got to take a closer look at this. We're not selling like we used to, and if we keep selling in this range, it's only so many years, it probably makes sense to keep producing this car. All right, now back to the second gen, and we're gonna apply that same danger zone range. There we have it. Okay, so we've basically been in the danger zone range for 3 years now, 2018, 2019, and pretty much 2020, okay? Now, how many years was Acura comfortable staying in the danger zone for the first gen? Well, let's go back. And as you can see, it was from 99 to 2005, so about 7 years. So we're about half that point. So if everything stayed the same, we're about halfway through that point to which Acura may be saying, okay, well, something has to give. And looking at the data now, it kind of puts into perspective that leaked information that came out of Acura earlier this year. You remember? There was some leaked document that said the NSX will be produced for at least 2-3 more years until 2023, 2024. Well, doing my math, looking at the danger zone number of years, that would put it at about 6 or 7 years of staying in that danger zone. So maybe we only do have a few more years left with this car. And if that's the case, in my opinion, what made the difference in that first generation lasting so much longer is because there were more variants to the car. There was the Type R, there was the T-tops, there was the pop-up lights, and then no pop-up lights. So some different variety. We haven't seen much variety other than color choices so far with the second gen NSX. And I really think that's curtailed some of the interest in the car. Like many of you, I would have loved to have seen a Spider version, a convertible. Look at the C8 Corvette. The convertible version is coming out basically less than a year of the base car. Now the rumors are, yes, we'll get it perhaps as early as next year, either the Spider version or the Type R, but at this point, it's almost like it's a little bit too late. But I still have hope. Everyone who knows me knows I love my NSX, I love the Acura brand, and so there's still time. The time is now, the momentum is now. You turn on the TV, you see an Acura commercial, you're starting to see a bunch of NSXs in those commercials, aren't you? The Acura racing division, the Formula One car, is winning races, okay? The Acura NSX is also about to be in the upcoming Fast and Furious movie. Ludacris is gonna be driving it. So when that movie comes out, don't you think kids around the world are gonna be telling their dad, Dad, go buy one of those NSXs that Ludacris was driving. So it's gonna be hot. So Acura, if you're watching this video, it's not too late. Please give us some variations other than just color choices. All right, folks, anybody can share a breaking news story, but I wanted to take you in deeper to help put some context as to, like I said, why Honda may have made that decision at this particular time. So if you like that type of thought process, this is the channel you want to become very familiar with and be a part of. I appreciate everyone's support. Please like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I'll see you on the next video.